What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer, and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. I strongly encourage that you watch this video all the way through, especially if you're a beginner. This is not a lighthearted video. Yes, we do some of those. This is one of those videos that I gotta talk. If I would have seen a video like this or even found my channel when I started, I would have saved myself so much time, money, energy, and just frustration, to be blunt with it. And see, any investment, you have to understand how the market works. If you come over from the Wall Street silver movement, bought silver at $30, thinking you're going to squeeze the market to several hundred, if not thousands of dollars, and now, 8 months later or whatever, you see your investment down and you're worried, you did not do your research. You did not understand how the silver markets work, and that's okay. You don't got to beat yourself up. If you're watching this video, you caught yourself. A lot of people already made the mistake to sell. Bought in at $30, sold at $23. If you haven't sold yet, then you have nothing to worry about. A lot of times people need confirmation or validation, even though it's irrelevant. Let me tell you something. Why in the world would you want the price of silver to go up right now if you're not planning on selling for 10, 15, 20 years? You just need validation that it can go up. We know it can. It was $50 10 years ago and 30 years before that. We know that silver's true value is much higher than any amount of fiat currency. Even $1,000, what is $1,000? What can it buy you? Because every single year, what that $1,000 can buy you is going to diminish. But 1 ounce of silver is always going to have 1 ounce of silver inside of it, unless you're talking about erosion or whatever, from worn down by people's fingers touching it. I mean, it's silly to think that people really do truly think that $30, $40, $50 an ounce is pricey, even $100. What can $30 get you today in the world? Right, a couple gallons of gas, maybe a Starbucks coffee, and McDonald's. But that 1 ounce of silver, what can that do for the world? Especially with the silver shortage, when we're looking at silver's literally the most important, not just metal, but the important item in the world. Without silver, the Green New Deal is not going to happen. And with the silver shortage looking like it won't happen. Silver is more important than anything else in the world. If we're talking about the Earth's health, if we are talking about money, if we're talking about intrinsical things, compared to anything else. So, since we know how valuable silver is, how can you put a price tag in dollar terms when the dollar has already lost 98% of its purchasing power, and is going to keep diminishing? You can't. No amount of fiat money will ever equal or value any amount of silver or gold at that as well. So let me revert back to why I'm bringing this up. We know that I just explained why silver is valuable, so you should be saying, Silver Slayer, yeah, right, it makes sense. So why isn't silver exploding? It takes time. Remember I said that those people think they could squeeze the price to $1,000? They had the perspective, or they had the thought that it was going to happen soon, like it did with GameStop and Regal, or AMC, or whatever. Silver, or precious metals in general, is a much, much slower market. It's like the tortoise and the hare. Cryptocurrencies, even most things digital, very fast-paced. It's based off speculation. That's why. Rumors, fear, uncertainty, doubt, right? FOMO, all that stuff that's speculative, that gets moved with how people think something is or how they perceive it is, when it's not really backed by anything, especially tangible. The markets move a lot quicker, especially smaller markets. Silver is a much bigger market than GameStop. Silver is also it has intrinsic value, so supply and demand also weigh heavily on the price. That's also why silver is a safe haven. That's what makes it so safe, is because you can't manipulate the price in a couple of days. I mean, Wall Street Silver did a phenomenal job at pushing the price up to $30, but when it fizzled back down, everyone thought it was a failure. But that was not a failure. For those people to push it up to $30 and also put silver on the map to that degree was a huge win. Everyone thinks they took an L. No, that was a huge win. Do you know how many people started stacking silver from that? I mean, their forum on Reddit has 150,000 subscribers, something like that now. That's incredible. So many people's lives have been changed because of that movement. But a lot of people jumped on the bandwagon, not understanding silver's true value. And then, they bought thousands of dollars worth of silver at $30 an ounce. They saw within a couple of months, they're in the red. They thought this was a bad mistake, start doubting themselves, and then they sell at a massive loss. Massive loss. And yes, if you bought at $30, your investment's in the red right now. But does that mean you lost money? No. You don't lose money until you actually sell that silver. Right now, your investment is down, but in a couple of years, when it's not down, then that means you haven't lost any money. You only lose money until you actually sell. You got to remember that. It's just temporarily down at the moment, which also means you could build onto your portfolio, lowering your dollar per ounce average. Because buying at $30 means your dollar per ounce average is already pretty high, so take advantage of the lower prices. You want your dollar per ounce average to be as low as possible, because that's the best return when you go to sell. If your dollar per ounce average is $50, that's going to be pretty hard to beat, because the highest price silver's ever been is $50. When you're looking at the grand scheme of things, though, whether it's 50, whether it's 100, that's pennies to the dollar in terms of silver's true value. But you have to be patient. You think 5 years is going to be enough time? You're going to sell yourself short, and you are going to be kicking yourself in the butt in 10, 15 years saying, why did I not wait a couple years longer? The people that bought Bitcoin at $1,200 when I was talking about it, they saw it get up to $10,000, and they said, no way, I'm cashing out. This is incredible. There's no way. And now look, sit at $50,000, $60,000. Those people probably have the most disgusting feeling in their stomach because they had a big payout, but they sold themselves short. They weren't patient. The tortoise and the hare, which one always wins the race? Precious metal is a hedge against inflation. It's a store of your wealth as the dollar slowly, or nowadays, hyperinflation quickly depreciates in value. But we are seeing somewhat of a restorative economy, so things are going to take a little slower. Yes, even if this pandemic didn't happen, I would still be sitting here making a video talking about silver. For the last 2 years while it was going on, I would be sitting here making a video talking about why you should buy silver. But since that did happen, it sped things up times 10. What was going to take 10 years to happen is going to take, 3 or 4 years. And that's why when I'm talking about silver exploding or skyrocketing, I'm talking about the year 2024 to 2025. That's when, in my opinion, things are really going to take off. Not next year. It's too soon because we're only at $23. If silver was to hit $100 or even $50, within the next, let's say by the end of 2022, if silver was $50, there'd probably be a lot of movement between 40 and 50 for several months. But if it broke above 50, it would go to extreme overbought territory, probably jump up to 60, maybe even 70, and then it would crash very hard, maybe even take years to recover. Look at Bitcoin. It went from $1,200 to $16,000 within a couple of months. That was extreme overbought territory, and then what happened? It crashed. It took years for it to recover. It just started recovering over the past year or so. That was from the 2016, 2017 explosion. It went from $1,200 to $16,000, and that is way too up. If it goes up, it's going to crash. It needs to go up a little bit, down a little bit, build some price stability. Silver built some stability at $25, up a little bit, down a little bit, goes to 28, goes down to 26, goes to 32, goes to 29, goes to 31, goes to 30. See how it's building stability as it goes up? If it just goes way up out of nowhere, it's not, and then it starts, people's, the top starts to correct or dip, which is actually healthy. There's no stability at 30 at 45, no 40, no 35. It's going to go back down to where it started that rally and probably even lower. There has to be stability, but stability takes time. The point of this video, folks, is because when I first started stacking, I had a very unrealistic perspective of the markets. I was thinking that I had to spend 75-80% of my paycheck because silver's price was about to explode tomorrow and that I was going to miss out. I thought that I just got in at the right time. This is extremely egotistical because everyone thinks when they find something, they got it right in time, right? Right in time. Just like the people that think that the world's going to end in their lifetime as soon as they find out about it or become aware. You got to think bigger because your great-grandparents were probably thinking the same thing. Your grandparents were probably thinking the same way we are. But no, in 100 years, the Earth will probably still be here. Your great-great-great-great, your great-great-grandkids, they're going to be thinking the same thing as us. The world's about to end tomorrow. You got to really be realistic. And I'm not saying, I don't want to get into that topic, but regardless, silver's price isn't going to explode tomorrow, not next week, not next month, and not next year. You have a couple of years, so take advantage of that. If the price is down, buy. If the price is up, do what you want. Holding is still a strategy. People think you have to only be buying, selling, or trading. Holding is just as critical, as important, and valuable as buying, selling, or trading. There's not always a right time to buy. Now, when you're talking about $23 silver versus 25, even versus 30, I mean, who cares? I'm not one of those coupons people because when you're going to be selling, the price will be so high that those types of numbers, a couple dollar difference, isn't going to mean anything. So you just want to think about it. I do have a question for you, though. When do you think, honestly, when do you think the price of silver will start to really rise? And when I say really rise, I'm talking about triple-digit silver. I'm talking about where headlines, news articles, friends, family, your mom, your dog, your cat in the backyard, that squirrel jumping over your face, chasing your dog. When do you think silver will get to that point, and why? I explained my reasoning, 2024, 2025. That's when the Green New Deal is going to be in full effect. That's when people are going to realize how detrimental the silver shortage is. That's when people are going to realize that we need silver and its true natural value will start to shine, outpacing the silver price manipulation going on by all these banks. Because yes, silver price is manipulated. I hate to say it, but it is. Prices are rigged to some extent. But luckily, since silver has intrinsic value, that can't have a pull on it forever. Because remember, not like stocks or crypto, it's not solely speculative. Bitcoin's solely speculative. The price is literally determined on how much people think it is. It's based off of assuming. It's based off information. Yes, there is a little bit of a supply and demand. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. 16 or 17 million have already been mined. But when we're looking at the news, when we're looking at what it can do, there's nothing tangible backing it. But gold and silver is. 1 ounce of silver always is going to have an ounce of silver inside of it, no matter who says that coin is worth what. No matter who says it's worth what. The coin's value is the 1 ounce, not the price tag. What else can you say that with? You can't say that with anything else. And guess what? That price tag is going to depreciate in time of what you can buy. What I mean by that is this. Right now, let's say something that's $20, back in the day could have bought you a lot more. And in the future, it's going to buy us a lot less. That's why your grandparents say, gas was, 25 cents, or a pack of cigarettes were a quarter, and nowadays they're $11. And then in the future, they're going to be $25. It's inflation. If you incorporate that of inflation, more money needing taking to buy something of the same value, and you incorporate that with precious metals prices as well, then you can see where we're going. That's why you see those third world countries, people holding signs saying starving billionaire. You ever seen that sign? A very poor guy, looks like he's from a very poor area, holding a sign that says starving billionaire. They carry their money in trash bags because they have so much money, but they're broke because their dollar is like a US dollar having the purchasing power of a penny. So if you go to the store to buy groceries and it's $7.85, you have to hand over hundreds, if not thousands, of these bills. And you know what they do? Instead of counting the bills, it would take too long, they weigh their money on scales. That's why you see the Zimbabwe $1 trillion bill. There's a $1 trillion bill. Zimbabwe $1 trillion bill. I actually own one personally. I'm not a trillionaire though, because that dollar, that what I could buy with that is essentially nothing. Because paper money is worthless. The same thing with our money. Even if it says $100 on it, when that money deflates to the point of, and yes, the US dollar is in the same direction as that starving billionaire, it's going to take longer though because we're wealthier. You want to know why we're wealthier? It's because we own more gold. Every fiat-based system is leading to the same exact scenario as that Zimbabwe $1 trillion bill with that guy holding that sign saying starving billionaire. They weigh their money on trash bags. I mean, they carry their money in trash bags and weigh it on scales. I mean, that's insane to think about. But it's true. I mean, the dollar's lost 98% of its purchasing power. That's not a made-up number. It's not 99%. It's not 97%. 98% is a literal and factual number. 44% in the last 20 years. It's rapidly rising. And it's only with the stimulus getting thrown out, it's only going to get worse. These numbers were even before Biden has thrown out the trillions of more dollars in stimulus and the trillions of dollars in the infrastructure plan and stuff. So we're only going to see things get much uglier before they get better. And the only better I mean is basically with silver's price. I mean, when we're looking at the next age, there's going to be a dramatic reset. And I could bust out my tinfoil hat, but there has to be. There has to be. Bitcoin is replacing the dollar, in my opinion, whether you want to agree with it or not, whether you realize it or not, but Bitcoin is replacing the dollar. Everyone says, how could there be a new currency system? What would it look like? It's already here. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Think about it. If I said there's going to be a new money in your lifetime, you would think, what? How could that happen? What would a new money look like? Would it be gold and silver? I mean, Bitcoin, it's already here. You know how many places already accept Bitcoin? You used to be able to buy a Tesla with Bitcoin. Amazon, PayPal works with cryptocurrency now. Coinbase ad on every single freaking YouTube video. You have all these stores and everyone's working with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's already replacing the dollar. And you want to know that central banks are in on it. Ripple's been here since Bitcoin. Ripple is a cryptocurrency owned by a central bank. Yes, that's contradicting, but it's the truth. Central bank owns Ripple. You want to know what else? Tether. Tether is a crypto pegged to the US dollar. Tether is always equaling $1. Whatever the dollar is, Tether is. Whatever the price of Tether is, the dollar is. So if you're talking about something to make it work, because Bitcoin's price goes up and down daily, there is a standard measurement of $1 that could work. But you want to know what's even crazier? There's a crypto called USDC. You know what that crypto is? You know what it's called? US dollar coin. Pegged to $1 as well. If the United States was to go to a new currency, in my opinion, it would be the US dollar coin. It's a crypto, but it's pegged to $1. But it's decentralized, so no shady bank can do anything behind the scenes because the blockchain stores every transaction publicly. Now, regardless, my point is still kind of reverting back to the dollar's downfall is inevitable. Silver is a hedge against inflation, and you're putting your money in a time vault. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. And the quicker you learn that and understand that, the better you'll be off to invest. Because if you're always investing thinking this sense of impending doom's right around the corner and silver's going to explode to $500 tomorrow, like I used to think, then you're going to be making very silly, irrational mistakes. It's called impulse buying. Just like if you think the price is about to crash all the way to the ground, it's called panic selling. If you think silver's going to explode tomorrow, you're constantly impulsively buying. Always making bad decisions because you don't understand that you have time and it's okay to wait for a couple of months to buy that ounce or to start buying that type of silver. You have time. Early crypto Silver Slayer, when I was buying silver in a couple of months, I couldn't wait a couple of months, because in a couple of months I was almost certain that silver would have taken off by now. If I would have known that, hey, I could start buying high premium silver in 6 months or so, and I should be focusing on bullion. But in my mind, 6 months from now, oh, that's way too long. What if silver explodes before then? I got to get my stuff now and spend my entire paycheck. I can't spend 15%, because by the time it explodes, I'll have no silver. You see what I'm saying? You got to pump the brakes and remember that this is not crypto. This is a hedge against inflation. Doesn't mean it's not going to explode, because it will. And the types of investments that take longer, where you can learn patience and it does take time to build stability, those are the ones that make real money. Real money. I'm talking about real money. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you thought this video was 1, educational, 2, informational, 3, at least entertaining, make sure to hit the like button. I post daily videos. I love all of you. 2022, I'm going to be busting my butt. You are never going to ever see my channel take off like it will this year. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I try to really put my heart to this, but this year, it's just going to be on a whole different level. And if you're new, welcome. Make sure you're subscribed. I do unboxings, do giveaways. I do it all. A lot of unboxings are going to be happening this year. 2022 is going to be the year that I'm going to buy the most silver I ever have in 2022. And by the way, if you've been tuning in this far into the video, pat yourself on the back. You didn't click off the video within 2-3 minutes thinking that you know everything. You wanted to soak up every piece of information that does translate into your stacking success in other areas of your life as well. It shows a lot about your character. So that's very important. Also, go check out the video I posted earlier today talking about censorship. We're talking about silver news, fake news going around silver community, and how to deal with that, and also why it's so important to make sure you get a good source like my channel. So yeah, tons of good videos coming out. I hope you enjoy them all. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.